sentire o hola ma kai kalisha. I say, what alone? Everything will be all right. Take it down. Now we hear me telling me chill out. Slow down now. Telling me what? Take it down. Oh, but remember that time? Yeah, Sam Wilderness. 14. That's you. That clean. Get it? Right, your soul. And it's that line. Not gonna one damn dollar until I got here. And I pray. Then I know God. God, God first tell him to tell everything. God, God first. Please with this year. A short thing on, a short thing that's real, and then a thing tell everything. And then one now. Why that wine you on and can't get nothing down fun. You must have think say, shrimp it and crack it, crab it and crack it. Huh. But shit. Remember them in the think we been crack it too? But that's it. Huh. What ain't no? What do you mean? See, we done been y'all. And we ain't no going nowhere talk. We would know that. You know I said, this your line. I need you all on the thing. And for everything you do. We know that. We know I said, water going in and coming out. That thing was under the truck. They ain't going to stand. They know the truth stand and everything else wrong. Oh, that is the thing we study about. Then the whole God and the whole truth. So that why? For them men I see the water secret. Then them shaman not shaman. So they're going there with all kind of crazy thing, a big thing, eating water. Instead of going on like we would do and carrying that on, cast them out. What God have on them. They came in. But these you did. I tell you the truth. Until I would wonder, the great God really going with that Jonah. And never sound like that. I said, no. Because I had to throw him in some indigo. Because that is the thing. Attack we all this time. I said, if it done it for me, we've been in the wilderness. They'll do it for you. Throw it in the quick. There is some time for gas on you. They'll bring it short. If you gas on over this side, there's more than a catfish if I did it. And we gas this your way. And that blue crowd start to come back up you. And I go on down there. As I've been quiet. Hear it down, sisters. Say the water bring me. Water going to take me back. I said, this is the thing now. I said, people don't know this. Water take them. This your thing they'll see. Sea level rise. I said, but then I know I said, it's been like this year. In the 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800, before they get you, anytime, this will be right. Stone, trunk, cross this will be. Sometimes going so high, she'll have to find a way up in it. Well, that will be high, up stone. Up in the church, or up in this something they call it about thing. I look at the water. I look at chicken and thing floating by. I look at that current thing gone. Red I was. They're your teeth we fought. And they said, huh? I said, yeah. Now go on, really crack you one. Now you ain't crack your teeth in them, and they know about science, and let me see how to do this show. Y'all said that scientists and things like that, study numbers and calculate all that thing. We do that. We've been to do that. That way he got me out. Excuse me, ma'am. I said, okay then. I said, I know what to do. Do like you go in town. Then he might, here they are, the overstand. That's true. I said, oh yeah, look here, sir. Oh yes, ma'am. I said, them children call you what now? A scientist. I said, you mean the same thing my ancestors been? You mean the same people that your teeth from the motherland? Them people? Excuse me? I said, look yourself. You don't come to a place like this here, with salt water there around you all the way like this here, and managed to grow the most rice anybody grew over here in North America. Because you need fresh water for grow rice. You don't come to a place like this here with nothing but trees that stand up all over you, and you know how to break them down, and then split the board, and then make a whole building, and ain't had one nail. If you know no science. So, sir, what they call you again? Or they call you No, ma'am. Well, what they call you, sir? I'm Joe. Or you the average Joe? Oh, no. I said, I guess so. Because you just came to me and said that you need to teach science to my community. While you look at me, that reflects Kush and reflects Kemet and reflects Ethiopia and reflects all of these places and spaces where science began. And that's whether we talk about spiritual science, that some of y'all want to call alchemy and all these things. Or we want to talk about the science that goes into architecture. You don't build pyramids without science. Mm-hmm. And you sure can't replicate bringing in the trunks and the dikes and then being able to channel in fresh water and place surrounded by salt water and grow so many tons of food that it gets shipped around the world. And it brings so much income. You call it what you called us, gold. Ma'am, but you just mentioned food and now you mentioned gold. You don't understand me, sir. I said, let me help you out. Black gold, black cargo is what they call the Igbo, Mandinka, Malinke, Yoruba, Gullah, Geechee, Mendi, Tembi, Viki, Fibio that came into this shoreline. That same shoreline I caught you on the last few days trying to destroy it. Well, no, we're engineers. We're putting in some new, pilots. I know what those are. I speak your language. Your word didn't speak mine. The thing about your pilots is you are piling on degradation to our environment and onto Mother Earth in such a way that it pours on and piles on more of that degradation onto my people who be going to get you I need to tell them what's going on. Got a deal. And you said, didn't understand or overstand this. We've been under too long to allow you to push us down because you want to put that there for whom? We didn't send for it. So who's it being built for? property since the 15 and the 1600s, and anybody came to us and said we need no pilings, and we didn't go to nobody and said we need no pilings. I said, sir, did you not notice me? As bright as I am colored, you ain't noticed me? The last few mornings coming down there? Really? Oh, yes, ma'am, I did notice. I was wondering what you was catching and all that. See, that ain't none of your business, sir. I said, well, what is your business is to find out what community you're in. Community is common unity. And you telling me about somebody that you think might maybe have purchased some kind of property, ain't none of them talk to we. So, I need to know who you working for. But like I said, I got the contract. You got it from somebody. Where'd you get it from? Well, I said, well, let me tell you something. I'm going to show you something. You see where you was trying to unload that truck? And why we stopped you? Because if you walk 3 more steps, you're about to try to pile off your pilings onto a burial area. A sacred ground. A hallowed ground. And don't tell me that you didn't know, because it's planted. You've been here. I'd rather was if your eye work. Look through them trees right there. What you think that is sticking up out the ground? Ma'am, I apologize. So I showed it, look. So early in the morning, I said, yeah, the sun wasn't high when you was cruising on back here. Because maybe you thought nobody lived here. Maybe you thought nobody would notice that you were coming in. Nobody would notice you building something in to build us out. Maybe you thought nobody would notice, and then by the time somebody did, a gate would be up front, blocking our entry to not only our sacred burial area, but our sacred waterway that has nourished us. And I'm not just talking about the food we eat. I'm talking about our souls being nourished by simply going to the water once. Listen. Yes, sir, I tell you right now, with what you do, I recommend you get in that water. Because our ancestors ain't never left. So it might not be a good idea for you to keep piling the pilings. And, oh, by the way, do you understand me now, sir? Yes, ma'am. So, what's going to happen? Well, now I say you do know that it's a felony for you to desecrate bury. I did know that. But I wasn't going to desecrate over you throwing the piles out there. I think that's not what you're going to be doing. So, what we going to be doing now? What you about to do? Because today I got your attention. The last few days you acted like you couldn't see me. Well, ma'am, I guess I better go back to the office and talk to somebody. Good idea. Because this is a bad decision. And I said, and while you do that, I'm going to go make a few calls myself. Because I like to know who sent you into this community where we be Gullah Geechee. Ain't nobody cracking deep with you. So I need you to go and come again, as we say. But next time, don't sneak back in the dark. Why don't you come when the sun is high, when everybody can see you? In fact, why don't you come after 6 in the evening, when everybody who live in the family compound is home, and maybe we can sit on the porch together and we can talk. Why don't you bring it back? Bring the people who gave you the contract. But you know something? He drove out and he never came back. I didn't see him. I wanted to see this contract. I so bad wanted to lay my eyes on this paper that he claimed somebody had given him. And then back and many other people claim to have, a claim in the Gullah Geechee Nation. And we say, how is that? With no community conversation, with no dialogue. And then the answer was, oh, we didn't speak the same language. We do now. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo estás? Je parle français. Mengadeh. Assalamu alaikum. We speak a multiplicity of languages, and you still telling me that it's a language barrier? I think the only barrier is that you don't want to enter into a dialogue with us. But you don't mind sneaking in under the cover of night, piling things onto a coastline that's already stressed because you're causing Mother Earth to be depressed. She's ready to rent her clothing. She's tired of being stripped by mining, sand mining, mineral mining. She's tired of you being the children that don't mind her. And when you don't mind your mama, she send you to the room and tell you to sit down. And about 2.5 years, almost 3 ago, Mother Earth did that to the whole world. Said, go to your room and sit down. Think about what you were doing. Like I said before, take your time. Tarry a while. But when we don't stop, that ain't right. When we stop and we're still chattering, we can't hear. So we don't hear our birth mothers, so we sure don't hear Mother Earth crying out, saying enough. Sit down. Don't pile one more thing. Don't probe me with one more thing. Don't hammer in one more thing. Because if you do, Mama got something for you. There's water, and there's wind, and I'll send it where you don't think it should go. Will you hear me then? Will you listen? Or will you be running and screaming and trying your best now to get not only on top of that wave, but the high ground? So how long will Mother cry out? How long will she speak to her children and they act like that man? They don't hear. They don't see. They don't understand. Then I hear my ancestors say, she would tell her, just live. Tell her to say, everything gonna be all right. She said he gone, like a king, in the middle of the night. But you ain't got to worry about him no more. We got you. And we gonna show folks that when we say the water bring me, the water gonna take me back. And been for sure, it been dry on soap. Was because we knew how to live on and with the water. We knew when to go out, when to come in. We knew how to take just what we needed for today and leave some for the next generation. We weren't like what y'all trying to do now. Dirty fish out the bottom of the ocean. And then wonder why there's a food shortage. There's this term, food insecurity. Our ancestors grew it. They harvested it from the land. They harvested it from the water. And in every case, they knew to everything there's a season. And so here it is, we're in a season of reckoning, rebalancing, shifting. Mother Earth is rearranging her furniture, putting it back where she had it. Before these children thought they was wiser than her and moved it all around and put stuff where it didn't belong. Where water was, where somebody had created a landfill, like in Charleston, South Carolina, where they built up a peninsula and just about doubled its size through a landfill at first, and then somebody got the idea to put buildings on top of it, and then they wonder why you can spit on the ground in Charleston and it begins to flood. I said, because all that was marsh before. All that was marsh before. So you really think that you can out-engineer God? You really think that you can out-design God? You believe that. I don't. My ancestors did it another way. They took us to the water. And we would say, take me to the water. We go there and say, get away, chilly Jordan, away in the water. All these water songs, because our spirit is part of this water. This water is our bloodline. I say to people, if this is your bloodline, why would you poison it? So we go to the shore now and we do libation ceremonies and we shout and we bring back that energy and that power of our ancestors. We bring the circle of community back to our coast to hold on to it, to stabilize it, to now honor the legacy and the middle passage that we live inside of, so that those ancestors don't join Mother Earth and then sweep and bring those things we call the hurricanes off the coast of Africa. We as the Gullah Geechee Fishing Association continue those traditions brought in from Mother Africa, from sewing the cast nets to casting them out there in the estuaries, to building from the bottom boat to the strip boat, to going back and replanting the oyster beds so that the water quality is sustained and the coast will remain. Because without that part of the coastline, we have no Swatina grass, we have no maritime forest, and as the sea levels rise, we take out the shoreline of the Gullah Geechee Nation, so then there would be no Gullah Geechee Nation. There would be no community. There would be no culture. There would be no family still going out, getting something from there out of the water. Now they say the ocean is acidified because instead of listening, instead of trading one thing for the other, they traded almost the devil for the witch, because now they build into the coast and put the same things there that poison the water. And then they don't put the oyster shells back after they have the big fancy affairs with their oysters on the half shell. And I'm like, did you say they're half-shelled? And they're like, no, they like to eat the oysters on the half-shell. I said, which could give them vibrios, which is another problem. Do they not see? Do they not hear the work that's going on around the world? The sun is setting on the time that we can do this work. The sun is setting on the time that we all get together and hear Mother Earth. I thought we'd do it when we all were sent to our rooms collectively. The people still came out, throwing down plastic masks on the ground, and eventually, when the rain falls, more water pushes it out to the ditches. The ditches run to the estuaries run and connect with the ocean. And I said, well, maybe they don't know the essence of the estuary. They say it's this mouth that opens and it connects to others. But that's what life does. You have to open the mouth and speak it out. You have to have, it comes from that mouth, and Mother gave us that. God blew that out the mouth to give life that could flow. So why are we clogging up that essence of energy natural way of balance by building where we shouldn't, and not hearing those indigenous to the coastline say, that's not what we did, and that's how we survived, that's how we've lived for hundreds of years. We go inland to build, we go to the water to heal. So because we're not doing this right, the water's coming in to heal you. Wherever you may stand, wherever you may live, it comes on the land. Do you want to continue that? Or is it time that, like they say, the rising tide raises all boats? Is it time that that rising sea will raise all the wind? No matter how we crack with anything like that, maybe we can sit and suckle together on the shoreline and see what we have to do. And yet we mama too. It says, yeah, hold on just a little while longer. Hold on just a little while longer. Hold on just a little while longer. Everything why be alright on the children, everything why be alright. Gullah Geechee, everything why be alright. So when I hear that, as the tide comes in and goes out, the sun sets over. See eyes. I know for true what we have to do. Keep living, but live righteously. And every day might be all right. Because righteous people only live in balance, you see. And we might left something for the next generation, like we ancestors left for we. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Sheo.
Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I would like to take just a moment of silence in remembrance of my ancestors who were brought to these shores as enslaved people. Ashe, ashe, ashe. I really appreciate having this opportunity to talk to you about protecting our heritage and about being collaborators with experts like you who sometimes come into our community looking for opportunities to do science and other investigative works and perhaps don't understand how we can help you and how we are actually the experts of the work that you want to do. Being collaborators, as I've been able to do with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, has given us the opportunity to tell you things that you might not otherwise know. I'll share a quick example with you. In 2020, I received notice that there was going to be a problem in a community known as Piney because trees had come down in an area that was known to be the vicinity of burials. I was struck and in shock, but immediately contacted county officials, asked them if they would stop all development in that area, and then my next move was to email the Florida Public Archaeology Network and others in that community who could help me. And it is of the Gullah Geechee Nation. And part of my work, as you heard, does have to do with advocating for my ancestors who are buried on private property. So what does this have to do with estuaries? I've recently been able to partnership, as I said, with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, who has written a grant, and that grant is funding research and work at the Gullah Matanzas National Estuarian Research Reserve. This research is working on documenting how the reserve is losing heritage as the shoreline is washed away. So there are archaeological artifacts that relate to the presence of my people from the 1700s to the end of the enslavement period being present there. And they thought that it was very important, Queen, that Gullah Geechee people, along with Native peoples, be asked to come and share in an exploration of the estuary. Not just so that we can inform them, which is an important part of the process, but so that we, as a culture, can be reconnected to a landscape from which we've been disconnected. I was very surprised to learn that Gullah Geechee people were brought to that area and then transferred and moved around from the Carolinas to this space, to the Caribbean, and then back to the Carolinas. So in fact, this particular location near St. Augustine may have descendants of the Gullah Geechees who worked on that plantation who have no idea that their ancestors, their forefathers worked there. So when we speak of restoration, we're talking about physical restoration to places that have been impacted by climate change, but we're also talking about cultural restoration. We're talking about the information that has been erased from the historic record that needs to be restored so that my people can see the context within which we are living today. This is just a map. I wanted to give you a visual indicator so you can understand that it is south of Ponte Vedra, north of what would be considered St. Augustine, which considers itself to be the oldest city in the United States, I believe they say. But at any rate, this is just a little of what I wanted to share with you about how our work, even in identifying burial grounds. Let me say a little bit about that. I had the pleasure of listening in to one of the virtual meetings today in which I was honored to hear our Native peoples speaking about their traditions and how they protect them in much of the same ways that we do. One of the things that we did not want to have to do was to map and identify burial areas. But the reason that we are forced to do it is because our burials are on private property. It is these particular ones that I'm speaking of, not pictured here in this map, but near me in Nassau County, are on corporate land. There is a mill company that hired tenant workers during the early 1900s on down to the late 1930s and 40s when this company acquired the property from private owners. Those tenants were buried on that land that was later acquired by the corporation. And now, as they begin the early stages of planning for a resort, we are saying, not only do we need you to protect them, but we need you to make sure that nothing happens to them in perpetuity. And their response to us is, well, we're not quite at the point where we do that. And my response is, there is no other time than now. If you have the intention of making sure that these burials are safe, then there's no other time like the present. Because you know you're going to build your resort. That's your plan. So make sure that our burials are protected. One final point I'll make is, I sang down by the riverside because Queen has always taught us that very often Gullah Geechee people are buried by bodies of water. The water to bring me, the water to carry me back. And so these burials that I'm speaking of are near the St. Mary's River. And so the beautiful views of the St. Mary's in your lovely resort will have to overlook the bodies who are resting in peace, my ancestors. And they have raised their voices so that you will not ignore them. They have made their presence known so that you will not bury over them. They have made their presence known so that they will never again be denied. And I declare and decree that that corporation is going to have to bow to my ancestors.
Ashe.
Thank you all for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure.
Gullah Geechee Nation, thank you to all 100 children that you taught it not robbery for joining me. All right? So we appreciate the fact that you chose out of all the other sessions, or even to just go in your bed now after you ate the heavy food here in New Orleans. Or for you, you might have had a little cocktail for lunch. To not go to your rooms, but to come here and to spend this time with us. So, yes, this session is different. The only thing we didn't do today was actually put y'all in a circle like we normally would, just because of the size of the ballroom, and we didn't want people to have heart attacks and strokes and stuff. That we moved all the furniture and they have to move it back. But we don't sit in this linear pattern when we gather together. So we are literally opening up the circle for you all to be able to join in. Follow at Gullah Geechee, and Gullah is G-U-L, bless you. G is not G-U, bless you, that would bless you. At Gullah Geechee, G-U-L-L-A-H, G-E-E-C-H-E-E, ain't no I in Geechee for the week. You can follow at Gullah Geechee on Instagram, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter, as long as Twitter lasts. Gullah Geechee Nation on TikTok. And also Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook. And if you go to GullahGeecheeNation.com, that is our blog, and if you follow that, you will keep up with events and activities that we do. And one of those events I would love to invite you all to attend is every March, and it's going to be March 31st and April 1st, on St. Helena Island, where I'm from in Beaufort County, South Carolina, we host the Coastal Cultures Conference. And that Coastal Cultures Conference is an opportunity to literally engage on the land, at the shoreline, at the ocean, at the marsh, to see how we live, get some good food too while you're there, and to work with us. And so you can see the things that we're working on with our Green Gullah Geechee Communities project that we're working on. I see some of our partners in the room for that. And to then dialogue about the same things we're talking about here. What is the best practice going forward so that Jedi is not just a terminology from Star Wars that people have bastardized now, okay? But that truly we have justice and not just us, okay? Equity. Equity is equal footing, sharing these resources in a legitimate way. Diversity, we got that in this room already. So I think we're accomplishing all of that. Inclusion, we are again included in here even if we had to get in on our own. Okay? So again, the D and the I think people as easy as it bless you. It is that justice and it is that equity that is the issue. But once we have equity, true equity, which is not equality, equity and equality are different things. When we have both, there will be justice for everybody. And so that's why, once again, I say to you, thank you on behalf of the Gullah Geechee Nation. And I say, hold on just a little while longer. We all work together. Everything going to be all right. Thank you. Much love to all of you. Appreciate all of y'all from Blacks and Marine Science in the room. Appreciate y'all from Ocean Conservancy in the room. Appreciate you from Pew in the room. I know y'all like, she doing shout-outs? Yeah, I am. Because this has felt like such, and from Hispanic access in the room. Appreciate you, OJAG in the room. Appreciate you because this has been a family reunion for me. I have come to this conference and other places I presented for this conference virtually before, and I have never felt the passion and the love that I felt these last couple of days in this conference's time. So let's keep doing that, because like Stevie said, the world's in need of love today. And I pray that there's love coming your way. Peace, love, and blessings. Happy holy days. And take it, Representative Brenda